My brothers, my sisters, this is Duke Loves Rasslin, and I want you to stop what you're doing and head over to rivercitywrestlingcon.com. Use the promo code Top Shelf. That's all one word there, Top Shelf. Why? I just saved you 10% on weekend passes to see some of your favorite stars from yesterday, today, and tomorrow, including...
Hey, what's everybody doing? This is Ken Shamrock. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I will be at the River City WrestleCon in Jacksonville, Florida on June 11th. So if you get a chance, man, come on and check it out. See you there.
Head over to rivercitywrestlingcon.com. Use the promo code Top Shelf, and we'll see you Saturday, June 10th and Sunday, June 11th. That's right.
Locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the one and only Jack Talos. You are here listening to Duke Loves Wrestling podcast.
You know, brothers and sisters, I am a guy that is a pretty big deal in stature. You know, I'm proud of the fact that I have this great, big, booming voice, and it has served me well in life because what I don't have is a lot of height. I am definitely not the tallest guy in the room at any point in time. In fact, I celebrate when I go to the store and you know, let's say an elderly lady asks me to grab something that's on the top shelf, and I'm like, oh, look at that. She thinks I'm tall. So I am definitely never going to be mistaken for our guest here because we are talking 7 feet, 300 pounds of nothing but mean machine, can't wait to get it done, Noreen. Okay, I'm talking about my man, Mr. Jack Talos. What is going on, big man?
Hey, what's going on, Duke? I appreciate you having me here today, man.
Listen, I need you and I to star in the remake of the Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Twins, because I think that we can get this done, bro.
You think so? I think they need a remake. It's time, man.
It's time, and why not you and I? You know, the 7-footer, the 5'6"-footer. I mean, clearly we're twins, right?
I mean, obviously, man. We get it from our mother. I know, man. That jawline.
That's got to be it. That's good. Listen, you're an interesting guy, because in addition to being a pro wrestler, which, you know, shout out to you. You've done it in the WWE. You've done it in Impact. You've done it with the NWA, which you're still doing shots with them. But in addition to that, you've also been a pro basketball player. You're an actor. You're an international man of mystery. So I wonder, what's up with this, man? Why can't you just sit yourself down and do one thing? Why do you got to do a million things all at once?
Man, that's a tough one. Honestly, I just never feel like I'm doing enough. I mean, you know, life's about getting as much as you can out of it as you can, right? We want to get the most out of life as we can. And I guess I just always feel like if I'm not doing it, pursuing something that I'm happy to do and I love doing, and if I'm not doing that to the utmost and trying to live my life to the fullest, what am I doing? You know, so I'm trying to do as much as I can. I'm trying to experience as much as I can, and, you know, just seeing where I can end up in the world.
Well, speaking of that, because I know that you've traveled the world for sure, where has been your favorite place outside of the United States that you've been, especially when it comes to food, culture, just being? You know, where would you say has been your favorite place that you visit?
Just to be, man. Like if I'm not doing if the food culture, just being, it's got to be Egypt for me, man. My God family lives out there, and I'm really close. I got some family out in Alexandria. The food, the culture, you know, it's just, you fall in love with it, man. Like you hear, like you live in the U.S. and you hear this and you hear that, and so a lot of it's true, right? You go over there, it's hot, it's smelly, it's a tough city, it's a tough place to be, but you just fall in love with the people, man. Honestly, like Africa in general, like is really just like that. Like Morocco is really nice. Like the people there are just incredible. So I've really fallen in love with that place. But I'm also a big fan of Australia.
Well, we got to talk about this because, you know, Egypt the food, like you just said, is so tremendous. And I'm a big food guy. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I'm not 7 feet, 300 pounds. So, we're not going to have a food contest any time of the day, but my taste buds is pretty sharp and I know what's good. If I'm in an Egyptian restaurant and I want to eat like the big man here, Jack Talos, aka Zech Smith, what am I ordering and why?
Kufta, man, you're ordering a big plate of kufta, and that's because you can get the mixed plate like with the kebab like they have here. It's a little bit more traditional over there, but they're gonna make sure they get you enough food. It's gonna come hot, fresh off the grill. It's gonna come with all the sides. I mean, they're gonna bring out all the salad, the little side dishes for the salads for you. So you want the kufta plate, you want to go ahead and get beef on it too, and then you want the extra rice, baby, with the tahini sauce. Oh, that's stuff.
See that the man had a complete order for you there, folks. So make sure you write that down. we're gonna have to check that out this weekend for sure. Because one of the beauties of being in Boston is that the world comes here to get educated, and the world comes here to eat. So we have a abundance of different types of African restaurants, including Egyptian restaurants. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's good stuff. Man. Now you're an interesting guy because you spent some time in the WWE.
Yes,
and for a guy your size, I mean, you were in the land of giants already, but you were a giant among giants. What was that experience like?
Man, honestly, my experience with the WWE was probably a little bit more unique than others because I actually came in right on January 2020. So my mother passed in February of 2020. And then right after that, we had the pandemic starting in March. So my training was definitely kind of interrupted there at the beginning. And we kind of, first 8 months of me being with them was kind of like we sat inside our house. We were on a computer speaking with coaches. But other than that, it was a really interesting experience for me because, I was coming into a new sport entirely, right? Like, I came out of basketball. I was working with the Harlem Globetrotters at the time. I was doing the lead villain thing for them. And I was getting ready to go into wrestling when they recruited me. And it was just a really interesting thing, right? To come in and obviously, I'm somewhat of an accomplished athlete, right? I'm not going to say I'm the greatest ever or anything, but I'm definitely somewhat of an accomplished athlete in my life. So to come in and have to learn a whole new sport, a whole new way of doing things. It was an interesting challenge, especially with, like I said, with the way it started out and how I had to adapt to it. But honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. And it was really cool for me too, because I met a lot of new people, met some old people. So Omos, I remember the first day I walked into the performance center for my tryout. Omos is there, and Omos is actually, me and him went to college together in Baltimore at Morgan State. So Jordan, right? And that's actually my roommate from college. So I walked in, and first person I see is, my roommate from 5 years ago in college. So just an interesting experience, man, all around. Like I said, definitely something I wouldn't change for the world, but definitely if I could go back and change certain things, I would have got rid of the pandemic, right?
Wouldn't we all? I hear that for sure, because that definitely is. It's flipped everybody's world upside down, but I'm glad to hear that you've landed as well as you have, man, because that's definitely the story of your life. You're a guy that doesn't stay in one place for too long. You're always moving. You're always looking for the next opportunity, and that's why you stay ahead of the game. And shout out to Omos. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. He, pound for pound, is my favorite wrestler in the world right now. He works like a big man, and he's not doing flippy dippy peanut butter skippy, which I can't stand. These kids, they want to flip around and, damn near break their necks out there. This guy's working like a big man, just like you, which is the whole point, and that's why you guys are just going to continue to be successful, because you understand that you have something that people my size don't. And you got to play to that. You know what I mean? And you can't play to that if you're trying to do shooting star presses and all these different crazy things that hurt yourself.
Yeah, man. So I actually train train with them, and I'll train some guys over at Millennium Pro Wrestling Academy here in LA. That's something I try to teach the younger guys. And, I have no business. The only thing you'll ever hear out of my mouth teaching somebody is something that somebody much wiser than me in the business told me. And something I was told early on was listen, you're capable of doing these flippy things, whatever you want to do. If you want to go up there and do a front flip, you can do that. It was Robbie Brookside who told me this. He said, you can do that, but what's the point? He said, "You're not filling your role." He said, and that's what everyone's forgetting nowadays is everyone has a role, and you need to be in that role. So being the big guys, you need to fill the role of the big guy because we have people that do the shooting star presses. We have ricochets and we have Eddie Guevara's and everybody. We have those people, and what we need is somebody to fill this role in this aspect.
Well said, man. And you've taken this over to the NWA now. How's that experience been so far? And shout out to my girl May Valentine. Shout out to Tim Storm. We got a lot of great friends over in the NWA. How's it been so far with this?
You know what, man? I cannot say enough good things about the NWA, honestly. I was fortunate enough actually to meet Tim Storm before I got with the NWA doing a convention out in Oklahoma. Just a great locker room in general, though. Honestly, so much experience. I mean, you look around the locker room and there's literally hundreds of years of experience in the room with you. So for someone like me who's so young in the business and to get to learn from guys like Tyrus, Billy Ray, Aaron Stevens, guys like that, to be able to have those guys watch my matches, Pat Kenny, Tom Pritchard, for them to be able to watch it and come back to me and give me feedback. I mean, the opportunities like that are just, one in a million, right? Plus, I'm a big Billy Corgan guy, so I'm not mad about that at all. It's a real, it's kind of a surreal moment when you're sitting there with a rock star and you're like, aren't we in a wrestling ring?
All those years of watching MTV and what have you when you were younger, man, just coming right back to you now, right?
instantly, man, instantly. So, plus I've gotten to work with, Daisy Kill over there. That's been my tag team partner. And again, it's been such a fun experience, because what do people try to compare us to? The new Sean and Diesel kind of thing. So me and my man over there. So it's been a fun experience, man. I gotta say, and being a tag team, it's a little different for me because most of the time I'm a singles competitor. So being on a tag team has been a little different, but I've had like I said, just great experience with it. Cannot say enough good things about them.
Well, I love that, and that's you have the right attitude, which is what I respect about you a lot. You were with the Harlem Globetrotters, which is an experience in and of itself because that is a form of sports entertainment in and of itself as well. And you're putting on a show for the kids, which is really cool. I mean, talk to me about that, man. How were the Globetrotters?
Two things to that. One is it really helped me fall in love with the entertainment side of sports. I worked for the Harlem Globetrotters, but I was technically a Washington General. I want to say it was 2017. And I was getting ready to go play professional ball over in Australia. And I remember I was doing a combine for my agent out in Vegas. And after the combine, one of their scouts came to me and was like, "Hey, man, we got a tryout in New Jersey. We'd like you to come try." I really wasn't sold on it because I still had a hoop dream, right? I wanted to go play professional basketball around the world. That was the goal. But they convinced me. I went and did it for 2 years, fell in love with it. Really fell in love with the aspect of, like I said, the entertainment. I was the first guy to come out. I had a mic. I got to go pick on kids, tear up basketballs, just be a jerk. And that kind of led in. I started looking at wrestling probably about a year and a half into it. I remember my buddy telling me, like, is this something you want to quit? Because it is a surreal experience. You're traveling the world. You're on the road 250 days a year. You're living on buses and planes and hotel rooms, man. And the other thing about it is, like, my ego was beaten out of me. That's what I always tell people about that job, because in my line of work, we had to lose 200 plus days a year. It was every night we were going to lose the game. We knew we were going to lose the game. There was no question about it. So it really, I always say it kind of helped me with the transition into wrestling, not being so egotistical about it. Because, you get into this business, especially with a lot of other big guys, and there becomes a lot of egos. And, I was fortunate enough to have a background that kind of like, no, hey man, we're here for the job, so get your ego out of there.
I love it, man. It really, it speaks to where you're going because you've been fortunate enough to be a cast member on the Young Rock NBC series there. Talk to me about that experience.
Crazy experience. First and foremost, my favorite wrestler of all time is The Undertaker. So absolutely dream come true. He's the reason I fell in love with wrestling. So to be able to portray him in any way, shape, or form is always just such an honor. It was definitely a big transition, because acting's different from wrestling in the sense of, like, wrestling, you'll sit and you kind of think about what you're going to do, and you're always getting ready. You're always doing something. In acting, it's a whole different game, right? It's hurry up and wait. And when your time comes, when that camera turns towards you, you better be ready to go 110%. And, we're going to shoot this as many times as we need to, but we don't need to shoot this more than 3 times. So it's definitely been a transition there. But again, man, being able to work with people like Luke Hawk, Che Guevara, I'm forgetting his last name, Brian, the Rocks dude, the one that went with him, the writer from WWE.
Yeah, Brian Gewirtz. It's tough to say his name. Brian Gewirtz.
Yeah, man, to get to work with guys like that. And like they came to me when we were on set and basically like, Dwayne approves every person who plays a legend on that show. It's his show, right? So they come to me and basically say, hey, Dwayne loved your audition. That's why you're here. So to get those kind of thumbs up from guys like that, saying like, you're the guy we want for this. You did a great job. You literally cannot get bigger compliments from bigger people in the industry that we're in, right?
I mean, it's awesome, man. To be on a big time TV show like that, your career just continues to look up. And I think that's a testament to you doing it the right way. And you're here to entertain the masses. You're here to learn. You're here to give back. And that's why, your life just continues to be positive. And it's a lesson for everybody there. There is a way to gain what you need while still playing it straight, still doing it the right way, still being a good person. And, certainly Jack Talos, a.k.a. Zech Smith, he is a prime example of all of that, which is really cool and commendable. Now, you have an appearance coming up with the River City Wrestling Con, right?
Man, so you can catch me there all weekend. I will be at the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling booth specifically. I'll also be wrestling. I think they said they got RVD this year. They got a huge list of stars coming in this year, though, man. And I got to say, my guy Nick over there running it, he just does an amazing job of getting the talent. And, last year was my first year with them, and they ran it beautifully. And I just expect them to get better every year at what they're doing, man. So.
Well, you were a big hit last year because, again, you're 7-footer. The kids loved you, man. So it'll be fun to see the photos of you with the children and what have you again. I don't know if they're all going to be 7 foot tall, but they certainly all could be a good person like Zech Smith, a.k.a. Jack Talos. So that's good stuff. Why don't you let everybody know, especially not just the fans, but also, promoters, movie producers. We have a wide selection of audience here. What's the best way folks can keep up with you?
Man, so the best way I would tell people to keep up with me is honestly through my Instagram or through my YouTube and or Twitch, Twitter. So on Instagram though, they can find me at Z the Tall Nomad. On YouTube, just check out Jack Talos. That's it. Those are honestly though, Instagram's going to be the best way. That's the one I'm most active on. If you want to get a hold of me, just reach out there. I have an email. I have a phone number attached. Honestly, man, if it's just a question, if it's a booking, I'm pretty good about getting back with fans too. Like when people have questions, so I try to be engaged. So if anyone ever wants to reach out to me, say, what's up? You got a question? Please feel free. I'm not one of those guys. I'll always do my best to get back with people if they give me a message.
And that's Talos, everyone. So not Tolos, which is a famous name in wrestling. And, you look up Jack Talos and you're going to find a whole different other lineage of Talos.
That's not me.
Yes, spell it out for them. Spell everything out for them.
Yeah, man.
Instagram name.
Yeah, man. So the Instagram name is Z the Tall Nomad. It's Z TheTallNomad, and Jack Talos is JackTalos. And like I said, you can honestly just Google it. All my stuff will come up, man. Like I'm not hard to find, guys. I promise.
Let's talk hydration. See, I carry something to drink with me every single place that I go because I am concerned about being dehydrated. It runs in the family. Everything from dry mouth, dizzy spells, fainting. It's pretty serious. And I've tried all the different types of waters and sports drinks. Let me tell you something right now. Liquid IV. That has been the most efficient at keeping me hydrated and doing so pretty quickly. Okay, Liquid IV has 5 essential vitamins and is 2 times faster at keeping you hydrated than water alone. And I'm serious, man. Everything from vitamin C to vitamins B3, B5, B6, B12. Liquid IV also is non-GMO, so it's free from gluten, dairy, soy. So for all you folks out there with food allergies, this may be right up your alley. And I know what you're thinking, but how does it taste, Duke? Well, it tastes pretty good. Okay, we're talking my favorite in pina colada. They also have tropical punch, strawberry, new flavors like sea berry and strawberry lemonade. You can enjoy this stuff, man. But don't take my word for it. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and head over to liquidiv.com. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin so you get 20% off your entire order. I mean, anything that you order on liquidiv.com. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to shop better hydration today. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin over at liquidiv.com. Save yourself 20%. Stay hydrated. Most importantly, enjoy life. That's right. Until next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Bianca Belair is a heel. Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.